Then you were medicine name they one day, but now moved to south.
Uh-huh.
Then you were medicine name they one day. Krish, we can see you now.
Okay, you can have your thing shared whenever you want to share and explain. You're at your liberty, but please let me know.
Okay, but for now it says host is disabled.
Yeah. Lalesh, అందరికి screen share ఇస్తారా మీరు?
Yeah.
Everybody can share the screen and then explain. So please do screen share to everybody.
Okay. Prashant sir, కొంచెం మీ frame down. It is very down. It's your frame. ఇంకా little bit. Right.
మీ కెమెరా కానీ మీరు ఐప్యాడ్ వాడుతున్నారా? కొద్దిగా స్లాంటింగ్ ఉంది ప్రశాంత్ మీ ఇమేజ్.
ఓకే, అది అంటే కొద్దిగా కిందికి అనేసరికి కొద్దిగా స్లాంట్ అయింది.
ఓకే
సార్ మీరు ఇలానే ఉండండి, ముందుకు రావద్దు, ముందుకు వస్తే హెడ్ కట్ అవుతుంది.
విశాల్ మీది పెద్ద ఇమేజ్ అయిపోయింది, కొంచెం చిన్నది ఉండొచ్చు. విశాల్ యువర్ ఇమేజ్
సరిపోతుంది హెడ్.
Yeah, what is that, Krishna?
Vishal, your head is cutting, so you have to lower your chair a little bit.
Is that better?
What do you say, Lalish?
ఇట్లా ఉంటే ఓకే సార్, బట్ మాట్లాడేటప్పుడు ఫ్రంట్కి వస్తే కొంచెం
your chair doesn't go down, like you have a lever maybe on the right hand side of the chair, you just can a little bit lower it.
Okay.
Yeah,
This should be right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Hello.
Meanwhile, in between, Rao will come. Please admit him. Then I'll also see anyway.
Okay, make your host.
Okay. Under everybody can share the screen, kada? Co-host. Mana TV co-host. Okay, fine. Everybody is co-host.
Share the screen ante meaning entante?
Share the screen, like if you want to see the states, like something like what? How much is the time I can show you? If you want to show something on the screen.
How do I do that?
There is something called share the screen.
ఎక్కడ ఉంది అది?
కింద ఆప్షన్ ఉంటది, కింద జూమ్ లో కింద ఉంటది.
Lower.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, but
ఏదైనా వీడియోస్ కానీ క్లిప్స్ కానీ ఏదైనా ఉంటే షేర్ చేయొచ్చు.
Yeah, like that. Somebody is showing. Who is showing?
Yeah, I'm showing.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Then how do I go back from?
Yeah. Stop screen
back
share.
to meeting ananna.
Yeah. Stop screen share.
Stop screen. Okay. I see. Gotcha. మీరు ఒక లింక్ పంపించింది, అది యాక్చువల్లీ I can do that share also కదా?
I mean, whichever way you want to explain your logic.
Okay.
Vishal also using the same link, right, Vishal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, same link.
Again, I have no brief description, so please, I'll tell you to introduce yourself. You have to introduce. Yesterday I did, but I don't.
సేమ్ మీరు మచ్ బెటర్ చూస్తున్నారు, కెమెరా ఒకటి
నేను చూసుకుంటాను. నేను I'll do that.
Okay, ready? 10 seconds.
Okay, నాది షేర్ స్క్రీన్ కదా? Yeah. One second. 10 screen కాలేదు అప్పుడే. ఒక్క నిమిషం, నాది రెడీగా పెట్టుకోలేదు నేను, బై మిస్టేక్ I forgot. Yeah, now I'm ready. Yeah, countdown you can start.
Okay.
Madan, you're called ex-police officer, or how do I mean the designation? Can you tell me?
It's for me?
Yeah, your designation. You say some police something.
Yeah, auxiliary police officer.
Observant. What is observant?
Auxiliary
Auxiliary police officer.
Auxiliary police.
Okay, ready, sir? 10 seconds.
Yep.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to another show of Spotlight. Today's Spotlight, we focus on a debate among our distinguished guests on Road to 270, who will win, Biden or Trump. We have with us on Zoom Trishul Reddy, a physician, Dr. Prashant, an entrepreneur, and Vishal Madan, an auxiliary police officer. And then welcome all of you. Can you introduce yourself, starting with Trishul, to our audience?
Yes. Namaste, everyone. My name is Trishul Reddy. I'm a physician in Tennessee. I've been a ER physician. Since I've never been politically active in my life, but for the first time, I'm getting politically active this year because of various reasons we can talk further. So that's my introduction.
Prashant.
Okay, namaste. Thank you, Krishna Garu, for giving this opportunity. And na peru Prashant Nagari andi. I am an IT person. I am a director at Avitas, and I have some interest, a little more liberal ideas and a more leaning democratic person. So would like to share my ideas and why I support what I support. Thank you.
Vishal.
Hello, everyone. Myself, Vishal Madan. I live in East Brunswick, New Jersey, and I am a member of East Brunswick Republican Club. And also, I'm an auxiliary police officer in New Jersey.
Okay, audience. In 2016, Trump broke all the records and then broke the surveys and won 306 seats. Now the fight is tougher, as people say, and then the Republicans say Trump is going to definitely win. We are going to see from our guests how Trump is going to win or how Biden is going to win. Before that, I would like to show 2016 electoral map. This is here. One second. You're able to see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the electoral map. This is how Trump has got 306 seats and Clinton got 232 seats. Trump, which mainly concentrated on this Rust Belt, like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Now these people say these states are very difficult for Trump to win, as well as here, this Colorado and then Arizona and Utah are also problematic to Trump. That's why Trump is crisscrossing across these states. I think every day 5 to 6 rallies that he is conducting among these states, including Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, I think yesterday he had the 3 to 4 rallies. So let us hear from our people, starting with Trishul. Tell us, what is the road to Trump to win his 270 electoral seats?
Okay, so I'm going to do a screen share. 1 second, so I can show you the map. Okay, so are you able to see the map?
Yes, Trishul.
Okay. So let's see. Basically, California, I'm going to make this, let me see if I can make this. Okay. I'm going to just go ahead and put everything that is, for some reason it's not working. 1 second. Okay, I'm not able to change the colors here. But okay, let's stop this. Basically, President Trump, he has won I'll tell you 1 second. Let me look at my.
Okay, meanwhile, we can go ahead with Vishal.
Okay. Do you want me to continue or you want
to? Continue. If you are ready, continue.
Yeah. So basically, he has won the whole left coast. I mean, he has lost the west coast. That means Oregon, Washington, California, Nevada, Colorado, and New Mexico, and Minnesota, Illinois, Virginia, New York, and all those in New Hampshire, Connecticut, and all that. The rest of the country he has won. So right now, the way the polls are looking, Florida, it looks like it's going for President Trump. Arizona is also is going for President Trump. As much as the media is saying that Arizona is a toss-up state, even Texas is a toss-up state. All this, if you allow all the states to be the way they are, what Biden needs to win is Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and possibly Arizona. So I feel it's an uphill battle for him to win Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania, yesterday in Pennsylvania, there are 60,000 supporters who came out for Trump. So I think Pennsylvania is in the bag for him. Florida is in the bag. So what's left right now is Wisconsin and Michigan. If he wins these both together, along with Arizona, there might be a chance. But even now, Minnesota is looking like a toss-up. In fact, his 1 week ago, Biden had a rally in Minnesota, which is surprising because Minnesota is usually a blue state. So in order for Biden to win, he has to bag Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. That's excluding Florida. So it's a very tough road ahead, I feel, for him to win all these states because nothing has changed from 2016 to 2020. All the people who hated Trump still hate Trump. All the people who love Trump still love Trump. So
but there are more haters of Trump as well as more likers of Trump from 2016 to now, and as well as the polls when compared with Pennsylvania today. The polls of Biden are much more than what the polls of Clinton sometime back in 2016. So is Pennsylvania going to go to Biden? Prashant, your opinion?
Okay, thanks, Krishna. So I will come to the answer your question. To start with, we are assuming that all the states what Trump will win again. That's the assumption we are going. So we will end up with 306 as we did it last time. But there are some changes from last time. There is a more activism in Democratic Party compared to what it was in 2016. There one reason I can say is Clinton might have not pulled the people, especially the white men did not support Hillary Clinton at that time and did not vote for her. So this time it will be a different. And second thing, it all comes down to being in a developed country like America, we all have to depend on polls. I know Trump didn't beat all the polls last time, but their polls have corrected themselves to some extent. They looked at what went wrong in 2016, so they updated their data, their signs they updated. So we have to believe the polls. Okay, if you don't want to believe, that's fine. And I think it will be 50 hours from now, we will start seeing the trends and results. Coming to the numbers, definitely Biden has more favorable polls at this time of the polling time compared to what Hillary had at that time. So it's when we are talking of the percentages, though they were saying in some cases, for example, Hillary was winning by 3%, the same state they are saying now Biden is winning by 5%. So they might be off. Instead of winning by 3, Clinton has lost by 1%. So, but still, when you are saying 5, even if they are off by 4%, still 5%, what we are talking in Pennsylvania is a very huge margin for Trump to overcome. I know he is, that is the reason he is doing so many shows yesterday and today in Pennsylvania. And there are a lot of people. We have seen this number of people. Trump always attracts people. There are a set of people who always, if you really look at the whole number of people, still Biden or Democratic Party always has an edge over the national polls. I know national polls are not very important, but still, if 60,000 people shows up, doesn't mean all will convert into votes. And even if all the 60,000 people convert polls, but we are talking of millions of people voting. So many people are still at home. So that will not be enough. There is a momentum there for him coming late in the game. Unfortunate for it is a lot of people have already voted. So the very less percentage is left. Almost there are states where like Texas, already more than 100% what they voted last time has voted now. So even if he gets momentum at this late in the game, it may not be enough to overcome these poll numbers and all.
To you, Vishal.
Okay,
we're talking about Pennsylvania and then whether Biden backs it or Trump backs it.
You want me to talk about Pennsylvania, or you want me to
Yeah. I mean, you can talk in general and come back to Pennsylvania. And then
okay,
before we go to the other state.
I am a Republican, but I am kind of a liberal Republican. I don't believe it will be a landslide victory for anyone. It will be more of a very close call or a close election. And saying that I'm a Republican, but still I will not discount the polls. Yes, polls hold some value. They can go here and there. They can be in the error margin. But I think, especially I live close to Pennsylvania, I live in New Jersey. I think, yes, there are some lot of good things President Trump has done, like the jobs, the oil. And one thing that Mr. Biden does, we all know, was about the fracking industry. He made a blunder there. People may not like it, but still, I feel there is a strong COVID sentiment in Pennsylvania. People who have lost their life, and I'm not blaming President Trump for it, but I'm just saying people have this thing in their mind, strong COVID sentiment. I think that is the key. That may go against Republican Party. So I see that Pennsylvania, yes, people are putting as a swing state. I see that may go to Democrat. That's my view about Pennsylvania. And that's one reason of COVID. And second reason is we all know that this mail-in voting rules, they vary state to state. And the way the rules are written in Pennsylvania, Democrats are ruling there. They are actually favoring Democrats because the voting is extended for 3 to 5 days afterwards. So I think that will hurt Republican Party. So from my point of view, Pennsylvania, I think may go to Democrats. That's my view about Pennsylvania. Now, if you want to talk
you are discounting the 20 seats, that is from 306 minus 20. It's
yeah, so that's
286.
I can come to now my view. I will try to share my screen.
Before that, we will welcome Mr. Rao. Rao is with us. He joined just now. Good evening, Rao.
Good evening, and Krishna Garu. Good evening, everyone.
Okay. Go ahead, Vishal.
Can I share my screen?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. I hope you can see my screen.
Yep.
So as I said earlier, I'm more like a liberal Republican. I'm not discounting the polls. They have some value, but how true they are, we have to see. So in my view, I do not consider Texas and Florida as swing state. And I'll tell you the reason for that also. I think they are leaning towards Republicans. And even Arizona, I have the same view. And I told you about Pennsylvania. I think that is going Democrat. But I think Wisconsin, that's one of the key states, like the last election, that is also going to Democrats, but Michigan is becoming Republican. Now, I can talk about, I'm not just drawing this without any analysis. So I have my analysis for each state. So I can talk about it. Let's talk about Arizona. Arizona, we all know that it was a strong red state, and we know that polls are telling we have a shift here. It can turn to blue. I'll tell you why it cannot. The reason is in Arizona, in the last 2016 election, there was a big majority of people who are like evangelical Christians and conservative Republicans. They did not vote for President Trump at that time. Whatever be the reason, we can go into reasons, but at that time, they did not trust President Trump. They did not vote for him. Now, with Amy Coney Barrett being confirmed as a Supreme Court judge, I can tell you there is going to be a huge swing in favor of President Trump. So that's why I'm giving Arizona again to Republicans. Let's come to Minnesota. Even Minnesota I have given to Republicans. The reason for that is due to George Floyd thing, we all saw what happened. There was a damage of $500 million in Minnesota. And there is a strong sentiment in Minnesota against the protesters. And people want law and order specifically in that area who saw the damage. So that is why I have given Minnesota also to Republicans, in my view. Then Michigan, why I have given the Michigan to Republicans? You will be surprised to know there was a recent poll conducted in Michigan, and that tells us 18% of the African American voters, they are supporting President Trump. That's a big surprise. And you will see in 2 days that will come out. So that is one of the main reasons I'm giving Michigan to Republicans, because if that kind of swing happens with the African American voters, there's no doubt about it that Republicans are going to win Michigan. So I already explained you about Pennsylvania, although I think it may be a toss-up. There is a chance President Trump may win, but because of sentiment, I'm giving it to Democrats. Let's talk about North Carolina. I'm giving it that also to Republicans. The reason is from March, when the COVID started, till date, there are like 100,000 plus new Republican voter registrations in North Carolina. And if you look at the previous election, the victory margin was very less. But if you add those 100,000 new Republican voter registrations after COVID, that tells you something where this state is going. And lastly, I want to talk about Florida, a key state. Mm-hmm. So we know that in Florida, actually, Hispanic votes, they matter a lot. And in the Hispanic vote, there are people coming, they are here from Cuba, from Venezuela, they make the majority of the Latino Hispanic votes. Now, the people who came from Cuba and Venezuela and other areas, they have seen the worst of socialism. They fled from that country. They come to this country for a better life, for a better future. They know that's not possible with socialism. So while they have seen that worst part of the socialism, they connect to President Trump. They listen to President Trump, what he's saying. Now, whatever be the case with COVID, still I feel this Hispanic Latino voters, they will largely favor Republican Party. That is why I'm giving Florida to Republicans. So that's my view of the key swing states.
Okay, so you say that 284 seats for Trump.
Yeah, as I said, I'm being liberal Republican. Some Republicans are giving 300 plus, but I'm kind of not discounting the polls.
Mm-hmm. But don't you think that this fracking issue and then jobs loss, is it not playing more than the COVID? I think people now more or like got used to the stigma built around COVID, and then so therefore
there is a chance that this fracking and economy may play a major role. But one thing is COVID, as I said. Second thing is we can't discount that it is a Democrat-run state. And I'm not saying there'll be a voting fraud, but yes, a lot of the mail-in votes which come later or which are there for Republican Party can be discarded. So that's what my worry is. So that is why I'm giving Pennsylvania to Democrats.
Okay.
There could be any surprise.
Okay. Thanks for your view. Rao, you can, if you have a map, you can share and then you can tell us how Biden, I think Rao is of the Democratic Party. And he can tell us why Biden is going to win and then how many seats he is going to win, taking into consideration the swing states and the states that we have been discussing. Rao.
Yeah. First, I'll start with Texas. Texas is a very tight.
That's your home state, right?
Home state, and I've lived I studied here and been living here for 20 years, and particularly the South Texas area where a lot of Hispanic population. So even before election, during COVID time, I was paying attention to the people that who are struggling to get the food. There were food banks working very closely in distributing the food. At that time itself, there were a few million people, and with the jobless in the blue collar, with the oil and gas industry, all that keeping in mind, the Hispanic minorities are definitely turned blue in a big way. And I've been watching about how some of the Hispanic leaders were working closely with the Democrats in the last few months. In the COVID situation, again, Texas is one of the top in the beginning and slowed down, and that also hurt in a big way. Particularly the Dallas County where I live, we were one of the top county in the nation for some time. All these things putting together, it's the sentiment and inclination for the general population is more towards Biden. And also the polling, if you see that there are about 9 million votes, I believe, early voting. So all that indication shows that the Texas is for the Biden in my view. And if it is not for Biden, it is a surprise for me this time. The last time was when I came to this country in '83. I think there was Ann Richards. She was a Democratic governor. And even though that Republicans have done tremendous development of the Texas state, but in the Trump time, that there is some sentiment came with a wall. Mexico is not too far from here, right? So the Mexican wall has also created a strong sentiment. So given all that factors, there is a chance, in my view, there is a good chance that Texas is going to turn blue this time. And when it comes to Pennsylvania, I've been watching about Pennsylvania sentiments and some of the people view. And Pennsylvania being a strong, blue collar, except that energy thing, what he commented Biden in the last presidential debate, I don't see that is a showstopper, but it's going to be definitely swing towards Democratic towards the Biden. So all these big states, we know the blue states what we have, and some of these, even the Florida. What I've seen is that the same minority population, the Spanish population, and there is some wave going on in the nation, not just in one state. The Spanish wave is going in a big way, and that is going to definitely bring that. So given some of these swing states and already the strong states like California, Washington, and Massachusetts, all that, I definitely see there's going to be a 300 in Biden's bag. So that's my gut feeling. Thanks.
No, the way you are saying, if they can flip Texas, they already got 270 seats. With whatever they have won in 2016, if they are intact, and if Texas is flipped, Biden is going to win, right?
Right.
You got already 268.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trishul, I think your view, I think your system it didn't work. Maybe you can go ahead and tell.
Yeah, no, I kind of differ from Mr. Rao's analysis on the Latin vote. I grew up in Miami. Schooling was there. I have friends there. Given the whole, socialism, communism type of thing with China and everything, a large majority of Cubans and Venezuelans have voted, according to anecdotal evidence that through friends and family living over there. Also, the polls show that the Latin American vote is gone more towards Trump than Democrats. So I think maybe I'm not sure if that analysis is right. And even in Texas, I really doubt Texas will vote a Democrat this time, because Biden is against oil. He's against fracking. which is number one issue in Texas. I mean, it's possible it can, but I doubt it. I feel like also when you look at Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, uh, President Trump rates really, I mean, votes, his percentages are very high with non-college voters compared to college voters. So Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania are majority over there are non-college voters. So this is why I feel that it's a tough, very tough road for Biden to win a non-college voter. I really feel I call myself a redneck Indian. My redneck friends will come, and the rural area people will come, and will re-elect President Trump again. It's a rural vote that's going to make President Trump win his re-election.
But we have already counted the rural vote in the other states, right? Whatever red that you are seeing are rural votes. Only in the Texas, there are a large sum of votes are there in the city area. Is it not going to make a difference, Trishul?
Say it again. What did you say?
See, we have already counted all the rural states, rather the vote people with the rural backgrounds, and most of the states like Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, and all those things are going to Trump the way they have gone earlier. But Texas is now there is a lot of urban population, and most of the population are moving towards Houston, Dallas, and other places where there is an urban population. Urban population, is it not going to turn to Democrats?
It will. It depends on how many rural people will come out of Texas, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. If more rural people will come out and vote, then Trump has a very good chance of winning. But if it all depends on see, another thing is the rural population have been affected very badly with NAFTA, and President Trump has removed NAFTA and got much better USMC treaty. That's done. Yeah. So now jobs are coming back. Manufacturing is coming back. There are actually people are hiring. So now I truly feel that the rural population, the way the especially in the states, the counties where they voted for President Obama and that switched to President Trump in 2016. The latest polls are all saying that they're going to go with President Trump, along with the farmers. Even the farmers, they are very much they understand the threat of China, the trade war, and so they're supporting majority. 70% of the farmers are supporting President Trump currently.
Prashant, if Trump can keep whatever he won in the previous election, and if Democrats can switch either Pennsylvania plus one more state or Texas, Democrats are going to win. And then you said you want to explain about Texas as well as Pennsylvania, why Democrats are going to win. To you, Prashant.
Thanks, Krishna. Let me share my screen and throw what I feel. Okay. So as everybody is talking about polls, so how they are getting these numbers, it's you can talk to your neighbors or one or two people, it's okay, but we should still go with the majority of the polls. What polls are saying. I know for now, let's start with where we started 2016. And there is nothing we are going to talk about East Coast or West Coast, especially Northeast or any of the Western states. So keeping those things, they are strong Democratic 20-point difference, so there is no chance in talking. So again, coming to Rust Belt or whatever you want to call, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, these the current poll trends are showing 9%, 8 to 9%. The poll of the polls, Nate Silver polls, you take 538 or whatever you want to see. So if you go by those, Trump won by less than 1% margin in these. So there was some anger against Clinton, and there is in general anger against established politicians, whatever it is, but Trump is able to pull it off. But things have changed. Because of his policy, Wisconsin suffered a lot with strict China policies or some other agricultural folks in Minnesota and all, they suffered. So they will when you take the polls, poll is not just about who you are voting for. They have all these questions answered. So it goes into consideration, what about NAFTA, what he did with China, and what other things. So those things I don't even want to discuss, because I strongly feel there is a very, very weak chance for Trump to pull it off. And these polls, these numbers are late game in the numbers. So more than 80% of the votes are already polled in most of the states. So these 3 states, I'm saying they are leaning Democratic, and they'll go Democratic. So, and Texas, I agree, it's 1%. Still, they are, as per the polls also, the 1% chance that Trump has 1% more voting there. So I'll lean the Texas. Still, I'll keep the Texas in the Republican fold for now. Definitely in the long run, next, if not now, 4 years from now, it will definitely turn blue. So for now, let's leave it red. And then what are we left with? So if you go with all this, the number says Democrats are at 258. And what I'm putting at toss-up is Arizona, where Biden is leading by 3 percentage points. Florida, where, as per the poll of polls, 1 percentage point. Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, all this, Pennsylvania 5% lead, but all these states are more than Biden is having the lead as per the polls. Any of these states, any one state flips, he has to cross all this to get to 270. So Trump has to have upsets in Arizona, upset in Pennsylvania, upset in Florida, upset in Georgia, and upset in North Carolina. We are talking of 5 states. And for Biden, any one of the states, if he is able to, even Arizona, which is having 3 percentage point lead, if he switches Arizona, North Carolina and Georgia, like 1%. I know very less chance in Georgia, but there are 2 senatorial races going on there. So there is a good chance there will be an upset there. So in that case, so Pennsylvania, if we can keep that 20 percentage points to Pennsylvania, and because of 5 percentage point lead, even if he wins by 1 percentage point or half percentage point, he's still going to carry the Pennsylvania 20. That will put the then is over 270. So you don't need to worry about North Carolina. It doesn't matter whether you get 271 or whether you get 400 where Ronald Reagan got. So we are only looking at 270. For him to 270, there are so many roads. But for Trump, all roads are closing. The Michigan, Wisconsin, I know because of the car industry, all the problems, and against the Trump, there is against the Clinton, he is able to win in 2016, but not now. There is not much wave against Biden. You don't see people really cursing Biden. Is a very, but there were people in at Clinton time, people cursing Clinton, that they are hell-bent not to vote for her. But Biden is a nice person. Nobody has anything against him. So the chances of negative vote is very less. So keeping all that in mind, I know there are some, Vishal brought some important points on why he is leaning whatever way, but for me, I think all those things are already considered in the polls, and I feel he's going to make it to 270 plus easily, if not 300.
Whatever votes are, okay, hold on a second. Whatever, can you unshare your screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Whatever votes are left now, I think about maybe 50 million to 60 million people have to vote. After all, whoever voted. So don't you think that Biden's son's issue, now that is open in the social media recently, is it not going to play a major role? You said that Biden has no negative impact at all, and is it not going to impact him a lot? While he hasn't done many things during his 47 years versus four years career. Is it not going to make a difference, Prashant? Because you said there is no negative remark. Yes, there is no negative remark, but this is the biggest negative remark that anybody can ever get, his son and then things like that. As well as not doing many things as expected, like he wants to make America first now, which he did not do. It's one of his slogan now. So is it not going to make a difference for at least the rest of the voters?
Okay, that is a point. I know there is something negative running on Hunter Biden, but we have to understand, if you really look at the media, not much media covered it. Honestly,
Yeah,
whether it's good or bad, they didn't. And
yeah, they did not
whatever
cover.
coverage, yeah, whatever coverage was on Fox, and even Fox, Hannity, or these people, they pulled it off. They did not continue with the story. In between, they said they lost the papers, so they don't have anything. Suddenly, I don't know how can anybody lose papers like
Yeah,
that.
they lost the papers and then resurfaced again the next day. So that is the
Yeah.
story. And
So that's it's all conspiracy theories. You can come up with those things anytime,
yeah,
and people got tired for listening to that. And he has 47 years in the making. So he did many things when he was young. He for Democratic Party, he has a very good hold on Democratic Party, especially Pennsylvania, where he is born in Scranton. So he does have his the reason why they say Obama is able to win Pennsylvania is because of because of Joe Biden, who was from Delaware, but he has a strong grassroots level support from Pennsylvania. So that helped. That will help him. But you brought a point where there is negative, but that we can see. You quote me one negative on Biden, but there are four negatives on Trump. So you see, his family is there running the White House. So there are many things against Trump Jr. What he says, and the daughter and son-in-law is running the show. So there are many things there. So there is many.
Yeah, at the same time, yesterday I was speaking to somebody else. That is precisely exactly the point. Like Biden has his family, and his family is rather defaming him, while Trump's all his family is helping in some or other way. All the sons are helping, daughter-in-laws are helping him, and in fact, son-in-law is more played a crucial role in Middle East peace deals. So everybody is helping him, whereas none of the people have involved in any of the bad things so far ever. So, so is it not a positive point for Trump, family thing? It looks a positive point for me because he's a strong family man, and then he could bring up all his kids very well. No drug abuse, no things. So is it not a positive thing?
The positive or depends on what channel you're watching and what you're leaning with. So everything.
No, I'm referring to what Mrs. Clinton told in one of the things that, okay, tell me one good thing about Trump. She precisely told exactly the same thing, whatever I told. Not me, not Fox.
Okay. So there are some good things and there are some bad things. We have seen what son-in-law has told, Jared Kushner has told recently how they handled the COVID crisis, how they try to open up the economy, though knowing very well the COVID is bad and they're ready to lose some people. So there were some bad stories on Jared Kushner also just in last week. So there are good and bad on anybody. And if you take Biden, he's one of, unfortunately, they're talking of only one son, but there is another son who lost his life at a younger age, but he served in the US military and served the country.
So that's the same. They are trying to even out with the president, vice president now. Is both the sons are in military, so and he doesn't have any bad things against him. Something anyway. Leaving it alone, let us come to the black votes. Vishal, is there not any swing in the black votes? Like earlier, Trump has got quite a lot of black votes, and then these guys, Ice Cube and then 50 cents, all these guys are not going to make any difference at all.
I think now you are right. There is some swing, yes. When we were at a point when there were like protests against, there was a killing, or whatever you want to call it, killing of George Floyd. At that time, there were protests all over the nation. At that time, there was, I will say, a momentum in the African American community. They wanted to vote Trump out. They wanted to come in large numbers. And I understand that sentiment. There is a reason, right? Someone was killed. Slowly, as the time passed, people look at the data, the facts, how we will get the jobs. So I think even the Black community or African American community, they are also thinking, okay, because of sentiment, we may decide to go with Democrats, which they have been, by the way, you know that for last 50, 70 years, they are with the Democrats and they have seen what they have got nothing. their community is still there. Their grassroots problems are not addressed. So now the people are thinking, what are we going to really get from this? So this is, I'll call it a cool off time after the protest, and now we're in a situation where people are rethinking what's going on. Can the Democrats really help the African American community? No. So that's why there you will see a swing. And I think I mentioned in one of my analysis, if you see the key state of Michigan, there was a survey done like 4 months back in the African American voters. Only 7 to 8% said they will support Republican Party. It was done last week. 18% of the African American voters are saying they will support President Trump. So this is adding to your point. Yes, we could see the similar swing coming in other states also. Yeah, I fully agree with you on that point. That I don't want to say about the rapper, what kind of rapport he has and how he can mobilize the community, but certainly there is a swing coming in African American voters towards the Republican Party, and if that happens, who knows? There may be a landslide also, meaning 300 plus.
Robert, to you, the swing in the black votes towards Trump, is it true like what these guys are projecting? Like one sentence from Trump in 2016, what the hell you are going to lose by voting us? Anyway, you never got anything. That one statement made at least 7% of the black voters swing towards Trump in 2016. Now, he has done quite a lot of things when compared, but at 2016, he didn't do anything. People do not know whether he would be able to do it or not, now that they have seen. So tell me that some reports say that some polls say that there is about 14 to 18% swing towards Trump in the black voters. Rob.
Yes, I don't think that is an accurate number. The swing is given what had, and also it didn't stop, right? It keep on happening even until last couple of days ago. So there's no change happened in spite of such a strong protests and whatnot around the country. Even here in Dallas, there were, even in my own town, we saw where even the local police came and supported that protest. So that is the level of sensitivity and sentiments within the Black community that, as they say, Black Lives Matter. It's not anymore a Black issue. It's a more of, if we look at the youngsters, there are a lot of millennials participated. Even the Indian community here in Dallas, a lot of youngsters put the sign in their front of their homes and he participated in that. And there is a heavy sentiment is behind. Actually, this is one of the reasons this is changed the views of a lot of the youth and women, the minorities, after seeing those series of events and the protests. It's actually eye-opening to a lot of people about Trump as a character. They understood what Trump is. As I said 2 days ago, that there is no healing process. Instead of this leadership coming openly and healing the hurt people, he went in other direction. He polarized the nation on this occasion, on this event. So people are, even the white people are not happy with what he has done with the white supremacy. So in that aspect, I definitely see he would not get, if I'll be surprised that if he get, 2-3%. That is the sentiment I have seen. Thanks.
Thank you. Trishul.
Yes. So my screen share is working right now. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you see the screen now?
Sure.
Okay. So here I have given North Carolina to Biden. Okay. I have given Pennsylvania to Biden. Okay. Even with North Carolina and Pennsylvania, he still wins with 270. Okay. Now this might sound a little weird, but I'm going to put California as a toss-up state this time. I'll give you my.
If you give California as a toss-up states to leaning towards the reds. No. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's game over. It's game over. So no, the reason, I mean, I might be wrong and everything, but the reason I'm giving this is because this election is completely different from any other election in the past. Now, the California population, San Francisco, Los Angeles, there's a lot of South Korean population. There's a lot of Vietnamese population, Chinese population.
Indians.
Yeah, yes, and Indians, and they all escaped from communist China to come here. So and plus the draconian lockdowns, a lot of people are losing their economic, financial status in the country. For example, Disneyland is still closed, but Disney World is open. They wanted to cancel Halloween, Governor Newsom. So I feel there's a lot of unrest within the people. So I feel like the business owners, the rural community in California, which has always been Republican, and the Asian community in California might make this state a toss-up state.
Now, if California is taken by Trump, there's nothing like it, but I doubt.
But if Texas can be taken by Biden, why California also has to.
No. For the sake of argument, it's fine. It looks nice. Whoever listens, but we don't know.
Right.
No, we are talking about swing in the black voters. Swing in the black voters.
Swing in the black voters.
Yeah, swing in the black voters.
Okay. So
is it real, or if real, how much will be effect on which swing states that we are speaking about? Things like that.
Yeah, I think Black Lives Matters and the protests actually have been a blessing for President Trump, because now he's become a law and order president. No one wants to see these riots. No one wants to see all the police unions, and everyone is supporting President Trump. So now he's become like a macho man. You see, it's a blessing in disguise. So just as a personal anecdote that we, amongst my own Black friends who are educated, this is another thing. Educated Black voters are more towards for Trump because they're actually reading the policy instead of going for emotional, he's a bad character, he's a bad personality and all. But uneducated Black voters are more going towards Biden, unlike the opposite when it comes to whites. Educated white college voters are going for Biden, and vice versa. Uneducated college are going for Trump. So I feel like many, especially given all the policies that Donald Trump has enacted for the Black community and the Hispanic community, lowest unemployment rate in history for Blacks and Latinos. He created these entrepreneurial zones and everything. He gave the most funding for the Black colleges ever. So, when you look at policies, I feel like President Trump is going to win. But, the biggest question, if I was a pollster, you ask, what do you think about President Trump? 99.9%. If they say, oh, I don't like his character, there's a Democrat. If they say I like his policies, they're probably going to vote Republican. So I really feel that the Republican, Ice Cube came out because he said, don't fool with us, Democrats. We want you to enact policies. We want to see real change. And Donald Trump has been the only president who has really the policies have really affected the minority in this country. They say that President Trump is a racist. He's been president for 4 years. Show me one racist policy has enacted. Show me one white supremacist policy has enacted. This is all media trying to fool us into all these things. Really, to tell you the truth, he has done more for minorities in this country than any other president before.
Okay, thank you, Prashant. See the black vote, swing in the black votes, and how much percentage of black vote swing will make a difference towards Trump? And is it really going to happen?
I truly doubt. I mean, there are people who always support either sides. If you take President Trump, he has a good support in educated Black and educated Latino people. So that's one thing. And if you take again, as we spoke on the educated whites, he has more, Biden has more support. So educated within Blacks, there is, nobody says 100% of the Blacks are going to vote for Biden. So there is always 10%. Will that be remaining 8 to 10% or will it jump to 20%? So that's the only question we are having. But still 80% are going to vote for Biden. I think the first debate really did a lot of harm to Trump. And that's where he lost the election to start with,
Mhm.
where he is not able to condemn the white supremacists.
Mhm.
A person, anybody who is who generally cares about the country, whether he's white, black, Latino, Indian, whatever it is, should oppose that. He is on the stage. He was given a chance to oppose, to condemn white supremacists, but he couldn't do that. He comes next day thinking and does it, but he had an opportunity. No black person, no non-white person, or even the white person who is really thinks about the country can go and vote for him after that stance. So he did well in the third debate, but that was too little too late. He should have behaved better. And that shows what he is. He is, though he's done policies or for the reduce the taxes for the rich, even a few black people who are rich, or a few Indians who are rich, who's making more than 400K and all, they got benefited by his tax plan. And they may vote for him. I'm not saying they are not, but what is the percentage of the people? How many black people in general, if you take the statistics, are making percentage of black people who's making more than 400K, which can really benefit. So it's sometimes policy matters. I agree with Trishul, but sometimes character matters. It's not that why did the Clinton white people, Republicans opposed Clinton? Just on the character. They are evangelicals. They said, I cannot allow this person who has extramarital. But the same people, the same evangelicals who talk about character, who talk about the values, family values, and all these things, are openly supporting Trump. I don't know. I just cannot understand how a person who cares about the family, who has family values, go and support Trump, who doesn't care for all these things. And you don't have to give examples. We have seen the tapes last time around, and we know what he is. When he says there are good people on both sides of the aisle, is that the statement? No. And with the black community, when there were riots going on, what did he do? Being a president, being the head of the state, he should have some decency to control that, give some statements favoring that. But he put fuel to the fire. He added fuel to the fire. So he lost a lot of black community. They might have changed a little bit later, but I know Democrats, they might have not done everything for the blacks, but they did a lot of things. They have liberal policies. They did a lot of these things. So I think black community still are with the Democratic Party. It shows that's the reason what it shows in New Jersey, it shows in California and Texas, anywhere else. But it's not the black, it's a very small percentage of vote if you take. We still have to, anybody who wants to become a president, even when Barack Obama became a president, he did not become president based on the black votes. He became because white supported him. He want white because that's the majority of the people. And they are supporting Biden this time more than they supported the Clinton. That's the point.
You made a statement like a lot of male voters, they did not like in 2016 election, rather Democratic male voters did not like Mrs. Clinton. So therefore they have voted for Trump. No, right. Because precisely the same reason. See, we are all humans at the end of the day, and we have our own preferences to us. Like if you were to give a job, probably you will not be an utopian person, and then you probably will choose, X, Y, Z in your layers, whichever candidate is more close to your layer, you would give, or I would give. So this is an established fact, which means that if he does not condemn white supremacists, is he not trying to push the male Democrats, Democratic voters towards Republican Party? Are they moving from Democratic Party to Republican Party just because they think at someday or the other with Democratic Party they will have they'll have an existential threat here in this country, in the very own country where they came and established and things like that? And then is it the main reason for white male voters or white Democratic voters to swing towards the Republican Party? Then in that case, it's a landslide. Your thoughts?
No, okay, coming to that point, there's a difference. White people, you're supporting white people is different. Supporting white people, white supremacy is different. This country's values. When Abraham Lincoln is a white person, he opposed the slavery. That means he opposed the white people. But people even today, we treat him like a god. He's the best president. America is what it is today. It's not because he supported blacks. He opposed whites. He opposed the South. And still the country, that's why this country has people like that. That's the reason this country is growing. This is the beauty of the country, where white people are supporting whites, or supporting blacks. Otherwise, if white people were not supporting blacks, we would have seen still slavery continued even today. So there is so people are moved ahead. If you take any younger generation, they cannot accept the slavery or anything against blacks.
True. That is precisely true. But now they were pushed to an existential threat. That's what I feel at this point of time. So your point is very right. Unless otherwise whites have condemned slavery, things like that, slavery emancipation wouldn't have been done at all. That's agreed. So now after 100 years and then more, so is it not, don't they feel that he's a sort of a person who is going to bring them out of this whatever recognition or so-called, let us call spade a spade. Is it purposefully calling Proud Boys? Is he purposefully calling this? But as you said, like white supremacists, he has several times condemned white supremacy, whereas several times Biden has spoken about, he has delivered racial slur more times than ever he did. Yes. Yeah. So when compared with, let's not take out of context even the sentence that you told, there are fine people on either side of the people. Even if you take out of the context, on the face of it, it is true. Yeah, there are good people, there are bad people on either side and good people on either side. But there are straight racial slurs that have been used by Biden. You can use it in any context. So that is what is the problem.
And Biden racial slurs are different because in the talking it might have come, I'm not saying in the 47 years of his, but he has always stood for the blacks, not just in America, wherever. When if you take South African apartheid, he was the one who was supporting the black people in South Africa. So this country is not just about kind of America, the values, they want to push these values across the globe. So wherever there is somebody is being minority is being pushed down, they will go and support. Same thing they did here. But Trump, and coming to Trump doing these things to attract some people into the Republican Party, I'm telling you, he is doing more harm to the Republican Party than anybody else. And if you, maybe 30%, there are core 30% of the people whom he himself said, I can go shoot in the New York State and nobody, they're still going to support. There are, I agree with that statement. There are 30% of the people could be who still support. We are that 30% Democrat, 30% Republican is always taken for granted.
Well, name one policy, sir. Name one policy that is enacted which is racist. Don't go by rhetoric. One policy as enacted which is racist. He
don't have chance. He is a president. He cannot have a policy because it comes from the his house is not in his control. If he has a chance for the control of the house, he would have done more harm. It's all leadership. What slurs you are making. He made statements against doctors. You being a doctor, like yesterday, what did he say to the? He is showing that COVID numbers are projected because of the doctors. They are the fighters. You guys are the fighters who put your life at risk. So everybody encouraged you, president coming at this late in the game and saying that doctors showed the numbers high. No, that's wrong. And he
No. Being in the medical field, being in the belly of the beast, I know that hospital administration, with the MBAs, they will call. I'm a ER physician, so they said they'll call me and say this guy came with sneezing, coughing, and I just put upper respiratory tract infection as a diagnosis. I get calls from the MBA, from the administration saying, can this not be COVID-related symptoms? We have, this is it's at the end of the day, the hospitals want to make money. They're getting 20% more financial incentive if they do. So it's unconscious bias. So for example, any cough and cold, I can say COVID-related symptoms. Now, if that guy goes to ICU, that diagnosis COVID-related symptom will still be there, even if he dies of pneumonia or heart attack and everything. And on the death certificate also, COVID-related symptom is still there. So there is fraud unintentional fraud. It's not that doctors are bad or anything like that. This has always been there. As a director, they will say that, you have not done enough CT scans.
Guys, I think we came to almost end of this one. Let's have 10 seconds each, and in your opinion, who is going to win? Let's go one by one, sir, before we close. Our given time is done. Starting with Trishul, because you are there. Yeah.
Yeah. Closing statements?
Yep.
Okay.
10 seconds.
Okay. I think Trump is going to have a landslide re-election victory. It's going to be a red wave. You'll be surprised that he's not only going to win the electoral college, but I predict that he's going to win the popular vote this time also.
Okay, good. Thank you. Prashant.
Yeah, for me, I'm telling Biden is going to win without any chance. Maybe with not 300 plus or 400, but at least 270 definitely is going to make it. And he's going to carry. Democrats going to carry the House, and the Senate could be a toss-up. It could be 50-50. In that case, again, Biden or the Vice President will make the. So all three will be in the Democratic, and we will see the next 4 years a different story altogether.
Okay, thank you, Prashant. Vishal.
Yeah, I think Trump is going to win, but not landslide. I wish he wins landslide. I'm a Republican, but I think it will be a close call, and he will win. And people are going to vote based on economy and law and order, not on personal things. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you, Vishal and Raugar.
Definitely, as I see more and more in the last few days, Biden is going to win. As Rupert Murdoch and Paul Ryan said, Trump is self-destroying. The comments he's making and the way he's polarizing this country. And people are not that stupid in this country. There may be some section, but a big number of them are watching. And I'm supporting Biden is going to win.
Thank you all. That is for today, viewers. And the elections are only 2 days away. Make your choice, make the right choice, and go and vote if you haven't already done. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.